But sometimes we lose media, lost media. Then we all go search for media. Lost media, it's not found, it's lost. Lost media. Sometimes it's well known, we all know that it's media. Lost media. We love to search for media, but it's not that media. Lost media. It's lesser known, lost media. Not well known, but it's still lost. Lost media. Lost media. It's lesser known, lost media. Here with Mr. Shaw.
Welcome back, Simian Squad. I am your host, Mr. Sean, here on Mr. Sean Productions, and welcome to Volume 87 of Lesser Known Lost Media. If you're joining us for the first time, congratulations, you have 86 episodes you get to binge watch after this one. But if you're unfamiliar with how this works is I cover lost media that really just doesn't get enough spotlight here on YouTube, hence lesser known, and then we go into, we cover those pieces that you just don't see. I start with 4 family-friendly pieces and end with a spicier piece. Also, guys, if you watched Wednesday's videos, you would know that there are certain KPIs, I suppose, that these goals this channel needs to meet by the end of the year for the channel to continue. I will be linking the video, Wednesday's video at the end of this video, but I'm also going to go over what our KPIs from last week were, and every Friday we're going to get an update. So with all that being said, let's get started. At number 1, we have Strawberry Fields, partially found production material from a canceled musical animated film circa the 1980s. This piece was requested by Evan Page-M3G, who is a viewer of the channel, and so thank you for that, Evan. Now, Strawberry Fields, also known as Strawberry Fields Forever, after the 1966/1967 song by the Beatles of the same name, is a canceled animated film that aimed to be one of the first cartoon movies to use computer-generated animation, as well as the first true computer-animated feature film. It was going to be an animated Beatles jukebox musical, which would make it the second animated film to do so after Yellow Submarine in 1968. For a while, much of what was known about the film, including some rare production art, came from a news article that was published in 2019. However, on March 11th of 2024, a demo reel containing 30 minutes of work-in-progress footage from the film, dated July 1989, was uploaded to the Internet Archive by Ziggy Kashmir. This has shed much more light on the project. The film is sometimes referred to as a form of a sequel to Yellow Submarine, particularly because it shares the same producer, Al Brodax, though it doesn't feature animated likenesses of the band like its predecessor, and the footage that has been found shows that Strawberry Fields is a complete stylistic departure from Yellow Submarine. The project started in April of 1985 when Yellow Submarine producer Al Brodax made a deal with the Computer Graphics Laboratory of New York Institute of Technology to create an entirely CG film based on the songs of the Beatles. Using the original Beatles masters supplied by ITC Productions and funded by Vestron Video, who would receive the home video and pay TV cable rights in return. Production, however, quickly ran into difficulties. The CGI technology wasn't advanced enough to animate human faces believably, so they decided to use 2D character animation from Lion's Den Studios on top of 3D environments. In mid-1987, it was discovered that ITC wasn't able to obtain the rights to the Beatles' masters, so they instead decided to use covers by well-known artists. In 1988, Vestron became worried about the quality of the work CGL was producing, which is alleged to be far below acceptable standards, and that CGL hadn't delivered a finished film in the agreed time. Production slowed down in 1989 when NYIT CGL leader Alex Shore objected to the partial use of hand-drawn animation and attempted to switch it back to full 3D animation. The production stopped entirely in 1992 due to the lawsuit, as well as the lab itself being shut down by then lab director Matthew Shore. It was previously thought that the lack of rights to the Beatles' masters led to the shelving, but the lawsuit shows that it was just a pretense, and the real trouble was the quality of the work being produced. the film seems to have never officially died, as there is evidence of production as late as 2009. While it was previously thought that Don Bluth was involved with this film, there's no evidence to support this. However, animator Jeff Merghart, one of the character designers for the picture, also did character design on Bluth's film An American Tail, which may be where the confusion comes from. The movie has some segments that use hand-drawn characters against CGI backgrounds, and some segments that are entirely 2D, and some segments, like the backstory of the Hammer, that are entirely 3D. The 2D components were done using Garland Stern's soft cell process by scanning in physical drawings and then coloring them digitally. But what's the film about, right? Well, the plot centers around Jude, a wannabe detective who gets contracted by Michelle. Michelle needs help stealing a magical amulet which can be used to find the legendary hammer of King Maxwell, before the evil walrus and his Eggman can get it. From there, we take a flying train to a desert planet named Ride, i.e. they get a ticket to ride, where they seek out the walrus. Along the way, the pair run into other colorful characters from Beatles songs, including the Taxman, Flat Top from Come Together, Rocky Raccoon, Mean Mr. Mustard, Bungalow Bill, a snake named Oobla-Dee Oobla-Da, an alternatively spelled version of Obla-Dee Obla-Da, a monkey-like creature named Jojo from Get Back, possibly Mr. Kite, and even the Fool on the Hill. The titular Strawberry Fields refers to a land of imagination inside all of us. Its role in the movie or significance to the plot is unknown. Sounds pretty trippy. Now, the soundtrack, because, it was going to include several covers of Lennon and McCartney's songs, which appear to have been commissioned specifically for the film. The production materials list the soundtrack as Michael Jackson singing Come Together, Cyndi Lauper singing Across the Universe, Crosby, Stills and Nash did Blackbird, Robert Palmer sang Baby You're a Rich Man, Sida Garrett sang Hey Jude, Cheap Trick would perform Magical Mystery Tour, Luther Vandross would sing Michelle, Stevie Ray Vaughan would do a version of Taxman, and To Be Advised would perform Strawberry Fields. Of these songs, several have been released elsewhere. Michael Jackson's Come Together cover was featured in Moonwalker. Cyndi Lauper's Across the Universe can be found on YouTube, though it seems to be from a bootleg. Cheap Trick's Magical Mystery Tour cover ended up on their 1990 Greatest Hits collection. Stevie Ray Vaughan's version of Taxman was released on a Greatest Hits CD, and while there is a version of Crosby, Stills and Nash's Blackbird cover online, it is not the same as the one in the reel. Robert Palmer's Baby You're a Rich Man cover, Sida Garrett's Hey Jude cover, and Luther Vandross's Michelle cover, though, have not been found, making them also pieces of lost media. A lot of these songs can also be heard in the animation reel that was found. There's a cover of Larry Williams' song Slow Down, which the Beatles had covered by an unidentified artist. The reel also uses several smaller snippets of the original version of the Beatles songs, Strawberry Fields, Hey Jude, Help, I Am the Walrus, Flying, Octopus's Garden, and A Day in the Life. These are likely left over from an earlier stage in production when obtaining the rights to the Beatles' masters was still on the table. There also appears to have been an original score. So what exactly is available from this? Well, while a lot of footage made for the film seems to be available via the newly found work in progress reel, a good fraction of the footage it contains is reused from the lab's previous works, such as animation created for the feature film The Works, or tests such as Inside a Quark by Ned Green. There are still lost segments that are known to exist. Most notably, there was a dogfight sequence with the character Jojo. While the full hammer sequence can be seen in the reel, a version was shown at the SIGGRAPH 89 with a different voiceover. This version is currently lost. There may be other differences in this version that aren't documented. Now, a demo reel of footage was shown at that same SIGGRAPH of 87. A guide from the event features a unique title card for the film, hinting that it may contain unseen footage. This has not been found either. There's also the issue of the lost covers. At least 8 of the 10 covers are known to have been produced, which means that Robert Palmer's cover of Baby You're a Rich Man, Sida Garrett's cover of Hey Jude, and Luther Vandross's cover of Michelle almost certainly exist, as well as a clean version of Crosby, Stills and Nash's cover of Blackbird, though they have not been found. And there also seems to be some footage from Strawberry Fields in the children's CGI compilation Imagine It. The opening segment at 1 minute 45 seconds in Imagine It is the Blackbird segment at 5 minutes 10 seconds in the reel. Imagine It's Magic Train segment that immediately follows through short clips in the intro, 2 minutes 18 seconds to 5 minutes 40 seconds, seems to be extension of the Magical Mystery Tour part at the 18-minute mark of the reel. The reel only shows the train gearing up, leaving in a bit of flying, but in Imagine It there is some additional footage of the train station and what seems to be its full journey through space, including the end, where it lands using parachutes on the desert planet of Ride. Further evidence of the connection can be found in the logo on the parachutes. It reads MMT, likely for Magical Mystery Tour. The footage on Imagine It seems to have been altered a bit to make it more kid-friendly, with the addition of a conductor robot and changing the sky from gray to blue. Additionally, there is a still of the train that doesn't match up with either sequence, possibly hinting at more footage. The Slow Things Down segment at 8 minutes 35 seconds in Imagine It is the car chase segment from 10:15 in the reel, though this has been altered to remove the Strawberry Fields characters, replacing them with digitized actors. The Storybook segment at 14 minutes 30 seconds in Imagine It uses footage from the King Maxwell segment of the reel found at 19 minutes 5 seconds. The footage of the Storybook opening is likely also from Strawberry Fields, as the walrus can be seen reading a similar storybook entitled The Legend of King Maxwell at 49 seconds in the reel, though the book in Imagine It had no text on the cover, meaning it might have been altered to remove any traces of Strawberry Fields. Additionally, both use the same dancing statues segment, 27 minutes 30 seconds in Imagine It and 16 minutes 25 seconds in the reel, but this is from an earlier work called The Dancers. The full version of this with original audio is also lost. Whew, that was a long one, guys. All right, thank you so much, Evan Page M3G, for that suggestion. This was a really interesting piece that I had not heard of before, hence, lesser known definitely, but I've never seen Yellow Submarine, though I hear it's a trip, but I also, I don't know how successful it was at the time, but I know it's certainly become a cult classic, so it does make sense that, even 20 years later, someone would be considering making, if not a direct, at least a spiritual sequel to Yellow Submarine, and it sounds like production was an absolute mess, but they were trying some far out things that really hadn't been done before, and that I can respect, and I definitely think it deserves to be better known than it is. At number 2, we have The House of Wrongful Torment, a lost Vietnamese crime horror film from 1992. The House of Wrongful Torment, Lee Mong Hong, showcasing writer-producer Nguyen Chan Tin in a starring position. Running for 90 minutes, it ranks among the earliest explorations of crime horror genre in the Vietnamese cinema after the Doi Moi economic reforms of the late 1980s, blending supernatural dread with the unraveling of dark criminal acts. Although warmly received at its debut, the production is now deemed vanished media, with no surviving copies in public archives, leaving its details fragmented and dependent on fading memories and limited references. The story revolves around a wealthy landowner residing in a grand eerie mansion hiding a shadowy history. To conceal a troubling past, likely tied to the grim fate of his true wife, he hires a woman to impersonate his spouse and manage the residence. Haunted by the ghost of the former wife, the mansion reveals clues uncovered by the substitute wife and the landowner's son, such as strange noises, hidden papers, and shifted objects. Their investigation gradually, exposes his sinister past, centered on a crime possibly involving her death. The feature's ominous atmosphere stems from both supernatural elements like a vengeful spirit and the chilling weight of the uncovered crime. As an unrecoverable piece, this storyline is pieced together from unofficial accounts, with a summary by The Lost Bird Facebook page and other secondhand sources, so specifics might differ based on available recollections or records. A little background, emerging during a pivotal era of Vietnam's motion picture industry after the Doi Moi reforms, this production signaled a shift from wartime and propaganda narratives towards diverse storytelling. Directed by Lee Mong Hong and crafted through Chan Phuong Films, a company founded by Nguyen Chan Tin, it appealed to audiences craving fresh entertainment. Now, reported to have been filmed at a villa in Dalat, yet its exact location remains unknown due to the passage of time. The project reflects the era's adventurous spirit. In a 2007 VN Express interview on April 23rd, Gwen Chantin reminisced about his early ventures into eerie tales, featuring this work and another one that I can't hope to pronounce that was made in 1993, both of which attracted large crowds and secured impressive box office returns. The House of Wrongful Torment, as reported by Petro Times, earned 1 billion Vietnamese dollars in ticket sales against a budget of approximately 300 million Vietnamese dollars. With Lee Mong Hong guiding the project and its producers shaping its creation, the 90-minute work leveraged star power and a suspenseful style to captivate viewers amid a surge of cinematic innovation in the early 1990s. While IMDb does have a cast page, again, this can't be verified as we cannot find any of this work. Classified as a lost work, no complete copies are known to exist in public collections, such as the National Archive Center in Vietnam or on digital platforms. Its loss traces back to the 1990s poor preservation methods, when motion pictures on magnetic tape or celluloid often degraded without modern archiving. Lacking international distribution, it missed chances for overseas safekeeping. Evidence of its existence lingers through a surviving promotional poster and mentions online, suggesting it was once screened and advertised. So far, no footage, trailers, or stills have surfaced widely, while private collections may possess hidden traces. This work marks an early milestone in Vietnam's horror cinema, reflecting the industry's bold growth during the post-Doi Moi era, among the first to meld supernatural dread with the grim realities of crime, echoing cultural beliefs in restless spirits and justice. It struck a chord with viewers, earning acclaim as noted by its lead producer. By grounding its narrative in human malice rather than overt supernatural elements alone, it potentially influenced later crime horror narratives. Despite being lost, it endures as a testament to the creative daring in Vietnam's evolving screen landscape, highlighting the fragility of pre-digital preservation and sparking nostalgia among enthusiasts eager to rediscover this elusive gem. And fortunately, there is still an ongoing quest for recovery. The search for this piece persists as a compelling challenge for local cinema enthusiasts, fueled by faint traces such as the surviving promotional poster, social media mentions, and fading audience memories. No official restoration efforts by cultural bodies have emerged, but hints might reside in private collections, aging VHS tapes, or conversations with surviving cast members like Viet Trinh, Lee Hung, and Hong Van. Online communities with forums and social media groups contribute significantly to reconstructing its legacy, despite the lack of solid evidence. This pursuit goes beyond mere retrieval. It's an effort to reclaim a lost fragment of Vietnamese screen heritage, linking past innovation with present curiosity. We do talk about lost films a lot on this channel, and many times it is one where, it's a very, very old film. So, I think, 90% of silent films are lost, things like that. But this one was from the 90s. It wasn't from that long ago. It just happens to have been made in a country where at the time they weren't really taking these steps to preserve their films, and it didn't get, a overseas or a international release, so nobody else was able to save it. But hopefully some film enthusiast of the area has a copy. They've kept it preserved, and hopefully we can see it one day. Alright guys, the next one's not nearly as long as the past two, but at number 3 we have Hidamari Sketch, a partially found teaser trailer of Shaft anime series 2006. Now, if you're like me, when you heard that title and you thought they were planning on making an anime series about the character Shaft, you are going to be disappointed, as I was. But Hidamari Sketch is a Japanese animated slice of life series produced by Studio Shaft and based on the manga of the same name by Ume Oyoki that first premiered in Manga Time Kiara Carrot in February of 2004, which aired from January 2007 to November of 2013. It follows Yuno, a shy young aspiring artist who attends Yamabuki Art High School while living at Hidamari Apartments with other occupants who quickly become close friends with her, while learning about life and art. It is notable for being the first breakout hit both Studio Shaft and Manga Time Kirara. I think I said that right. launching their respective careers in animation, as well as being the first Kirara manga to receive an anime. Before the series premiered in early 2007, a teaser trailer for the first season was showcased in the summer of 2006 that has been difficult to find ever since. So what was in this trailer? Well, the anime adaptation of Hidamari Sketch was first announced on June 28, 2006 in the August 2000 issue of Manga Time Kirara Carrot, and the original trailer of the series was later showcased at the 70th edition of the Cosmic Market at the International Exhibition Center between August 11th and 13th, when it was screened at the TBS animated booth. The trailer shows the four main characters of Yuno, Miyako, Sai, and Hiro displaying each of their own personalities with clips from the first season. There are notable differences compared to the final version, including the PV showcasing the Hidamari apartment with four separate rooms, and the characters' designs are slightly more angular, resembling the style of Shaft's 2005 anime Penny Pony Dash. I don't know why I do this to myself with all these foreign pieces. Suggesting it's an earlier cut of the anime, the music is also notably different than Sketch Switch, the final theme of the series, indicating it may have been planned to be a music intro. Now, what's available? Well, as of right now, the original PV of Hidamari Sketch has only resurfaced once in August 2009 from an upload of a recording at Cosmic Market 70. At one point, the HD version of the trailer was available online via the original Hidamari Sketch website, but has since been made unavailable to be watched. In the December 2006 issues of Megami Magazine and Dengeki G's magazine, HD scans from the PV appear when describing the series ahead of its release. It is unknown if Manga Time Kirara and Studio Shaft have plans to reissue the trailer, as it was not included in any physical home media release of the Hidamari Sketch anime. Now, I'm going to be honest when I'm telling you why I find this interesting. I clicked on this because I thought there was going to be an anime based on Shaft. I was mistaken. I had to I read through it, and it still was interesting though. So bear with me. The thing I think is most interesting is that this preview had some slight differences from the final product, but it was available on the main website. But it's since been made unable to be watched, and it's not been in any of the physical releases of media, but it seems like the same companies still hold all the rights to it, so I don't see why they wouldn't include it, especially because apparently people have fond memories of it. It was considered interesting, so there doesn't seem to be any real issue with the original the original preview, so I don't know why they would try and bury it, which to me is far more interesting than the missing piece itself. So there you go, that's why it's interesting. At number 4 we have Dacica, partially lost Roman military history circa the 100s AD. So Dacica, or Latin Dacicorum, is a partially lost Roman commentary by the Roman Emperor Trajan regarding his military campaigns in Dacia. Today the work is entirely lost save for a single sentence preserved in a grammar book. The work, if ever found, would be notable for providing the emperor's own unique perspective regarding the conflict. Now, in the 80s AD, the Roman Emperor Domitian began an unsuccessful campaign of conquest in Dacia, which is mostly modern-day Romania, which was repelled by the local resistance. In 101 AD, Trajan resumed the fighting by relaunching an invasion of Dacia, beginning a conflict which spanned 2 campaigns, the first being from 101 to 102 AD, and the second from 105 to 106 AD. Trajan's invasion would prove more successful than Domitian, with Roman forces achieving a complete victory over the Dacians, annexing the territory and providing the empire with valuable resources. Following the conflict, Emperor Trajan wrote a commentary on the fighting known as Dacica, I don't know how it's pronounced, I'm sorry. I'm really hurting myself with this today. Though only a single sentence has been preserved, surviving in a grammar book by 6th century grammarian Priscian, who wrote, Tyrannius in I Dacicorum inde berzombim diende aezizi processimus, or in English, thank you. Trajan in the first book of the Dacica writes, Then we made our way to Berzobis, and thereafter to Azizi. While brief, a few things can be gleaned from this sentence. Firstly, Priscian uses the word Dacicorum to refer to the title. Dacicorum, or its adjective Dacesius, can be roughly understood to mean Dacian, as in related to Dacia and the Dacian people. Therefore, the title can be properly understood as On the Dacian Conflict. Based on the phrasing in the first book of the Dacesia, it can be inferred that the Dacesia was at least 2 books long. Additionally, it can be inferred that Trajan wrote in first person, which was not uncommon for Roman emperors. Now, I know, last year there was a big thing going around about, do men think about the Roman Empire every day? And I'll be perfectly honest, no, I don't, at least. I find it to be a fascinating historical period, but it's not one that constantly occupies my thoughts. But I do think about lost media a lot, and the idea that there is a book on a conflict written by a Roman emperor in the first person, and that all we have from it is a single sentence, yeah, that's pretty damn interesting. Alright guys, we're going to get into that spicy piece in just a second, but I just wanted to reiterate that after that piece, I'm also going to be doing my shoutouts and all that, but we are going to go over KPIs, where we are at in our goal of keeping this channel alive past the end of 2025. So we're going to get into that after this thing, so let's get to today's spicy piece. Our spicy piece today is Camp Coyote, a partially found pilot, music, and scripts of unproduced episodic television musical series circa 2014 to 2005, in this being considered extra spicy, both being in S for work as well as life, due to its discussion of S crimes and sewer slide. Alright, so if those things are not okay topics for you, you have been warned. Now, Camp Coyote was an American band that consisted of Mike Miller and Mark Salling, the latter synonymous with his portrayal of Noah Puck Puckerman in the community drama musical series Glee. Around the same time Salling's role on Glee was toned down, he and Miller began work on Camp Coyote, which held its first live performance on the 19th of November 2014 at the Hotel Cafe in Los Angeles. Salling also announced in interviews that a Camp Coyote episodic television musical series was in the works, which he planned to pitch sometime after March of 2015. However, the project never materialized following his December 26, 2015 arrest for possession of over 54,000 instances of child SA material, referred to as CSAM. Now, a little background to this. Before Camp Coyote, Mark Salling achieved fame in music and television. Not long following the 2008 release of Smoke Signals under the moniker Jericho, Salling was cast as Noah Puck Puckerman in the Fox comedy drama musical series Glee. The role earned him international recognition. However, he ended up in hot water following the release of his second album, Pipe Dreams, in 2010. Unhappy with Salling's focus on his own independent music projects, Glee executives almost considered removing him from the show. However, he remained a regular presence on the show until his role was toned down from season 5 onwards. This, combined with several schmegul battery allegations, caused Salling's career to stall. It was to the extent that his upcoming Gods and Secrets role was considered his comeback. But what about Camp Coyote? Well, Salling kept himself busy during this period. In March of 2014, a YouTube channel called Camp Coyote emerged that featured Salling alongside his songwriting partner, Mike Miller. In an 11th of November 2014 interview on This Little Parent Stayed Home, Salling and Miller humorously recalled being bitter rivals in California male beauty pageants in 2006. However, the pair soon bonded and formed a musical duo called The Sawmill, with Salling as the saw and Miller as the mill. Maybe it's pronounced sawing? I don't know. They soon changed their name to Camp Coyote in remembrance of their eponymous Tujunga community, which burned down in 2009. Camp Coyote recorded the title track, The Starting Line, for the 2014 television film Rocky Road, which also starred sawing? I guess I'm going to call him sawing going forth. However, the band had more ambitious plans in mind. In a July 2014 interview with Pop City Life, Sawing claimed that a full album would be released that summer. It reportedly aimed to promote the reminiscing of childhood camp sessions and the power of putting one's differences aside for a greater purpose. While the summer deadline passed without any release, Camp Coyote announced they would perform at the Hotel Cafe in Los Angeles on the 19th of November 2014. Beforehand, Camp Coyote recorded live campfire sessions in August of 2014. Sawing and Miller also uploaded a few videos to the band's YouTube channel, including Electric Hoverboard, Captain plus America plus V6 HD, and Mark Sawing on piano. Meanwhile, This Time of Year was also recorded by the pair for Christmas. First played on This Little Parent Stayed Home, the song was uploaded to YouTube on the 13th of December 2014. Based on Sawing's comments, the band recorded 13 songs. These would be used to inspire an episodic musical series. According to Sawing, the 13 episode scripts were written around the song's themes. By March of 2015, as the final Glee episodes were broadcast, Sawing aimed to pitch a pilot for television executives. If that failed, Sawing claimed Camp Coyote would be an online series that told the band's story. In an October 2014 interview with Jake's Take, Sawing expressed confidence in Camp Coyote and wanted it to match or even surpass Glee's popularity. He believed the project would satisfy all of his artistic inclinations. So what went wrong? Well, the Camp Coyote project was reportedly 3 years in the making. However, it was derailed on the 26th of December 2015 following Sawing's arrest. Following a tip-off from an ex-girlfriend, the LAPD's Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force entered Sawing's apartment and confiscated his electronic devices. Using a mobile forensic lab, the LAPD gained access to the devices and uncovered over 54,000 images and videos of CSAM on them. Sawing's illegal activities had reportedly begun in April of 2015, with material featuring victims as young as 3 years old. Sawing also possessed a CSA instruction manual. Sawing was formally charged on the 29th of May 2016 with 2 counts of receiving and possessing CSAM. This cost him his Gods and Secrets role and presumably impacted his Camp Coyote work. On the 3rd of October 2017, Sawing accepted a plea deal where he would receive 4 to 7 years in prison. Sawing's sentence would never be served. After having secluded himself in his final days, the actor's body was found in Sunland, Los Angeles on the 30th of January 2018. He had committed self-unaliving by hanging at the age of 35. This marked the official end of Camp Coyote, and on the 5th of February 2018, an unreleased Camp Coyote song titled Intoxicated was uploaded to the band's YouTube channel in a tribute to Sawing. So, what is available? Well, Sawing's crimes meant that the Camp Coyote project never fully came to fruition. However, it is known that the band had engaged in studio recording by August 2014. Among the publicly available songs include This Time of Year and Intoxicated, which are both on the Camp Coyote YouTube channel. Additionally, Presence and Power was played as an exclusive on This Little Parent Stayed Home. In a preview for the Hotel Cafe performance, Sawing uploaded a 15-second clip of an unreleased song to Facebook. It contained the lyrics, "You used to laugh, I used to listen, you threw it all away." Although other songs were played at Hotel Cafe, the venue strictly prohibited photography or video recording. Barring an unintercepted road recording, the song will likely remain unreleased. During the Little Parent Stayed Home episode, host Ali Lopretti stated several Camp Coyote episode scripts had been written. None of the 13 scripts intended to be for an episodic music television series or online series, I can't talk for some reason, have publicly surfaced. Though Sawing briefly discussed plans to pitch a pilot during a March 2015 interview for The Hollywood Reporter, it is unknown whether one was recorded in the months prior to his arrest. To me, the thing that makes this one awful but interesting is that it's, according to sources, this unforgivable behavior, but from Sawing started in April of 2015. However, he had been active in the industry for quite a bit longer, and it's almost like, and you see this a lot, that people, I don't know if it's that they're just good at hiding these inclinations, or if the success brings it out in them, like it gets to them and it messes up their brain. I don't know what it is, but it's like, where did this come from? Like, even the person that turned him in said he'd only started doing this in 2015, and the first date mentioned on this was 2008. So what happened in those 7 years that made him? Was he hiding it better before, or did something break inside of him? We'll probably never know, but it's awful, but it is fascinating. And that is the episode, guys. I want to give a big shout out to my biggest supporter, J-Dog. Thank you so much, J-Dog, for your continued support. Again, guys, if you would like to join J-Dog on getting your name shouted out once a week, there are tiers both here on YouTube and over on Patreon where you can sign up to support the channel. And also, there are lower tiers, including the $1 tier, which gets you, access to all of my member exclusive videos every week. And there are a lot of them now, so it's a pretty good bargain for the price. Now, I mentioned we were going to go over KPIs, and we are. So how I'm going to be doing this each week is we're going to go over the numbers from the previous week. Again, as this week is still ongoing, we're not going to be factoring in views from the member exclusive videos, as those ones are only accessible by paid members. So that one is technically going to be factored in on the secondary KPI. If you didn't see Wednesday's video, they're the two goals that we need to meet. We need to meet one of the two goals. Either we need to get 2,000 subscribers with an average view per video of 1,000, or we need this channel to be making $100 a month. So those are going to be displayed, but the way I'm going to be factoring in the average views is typically any public video that is on the channel from last week. We're gonna use those, and we're only going to be using those to figure out what the average views are of the new videos. Now, if other videos start blowing up, we might change how we factor, but as for right now, this is always going to be based on the previous week's videos and the views. So without further ado, let's look at the KPIs. So our current subscriber count is 1,030 subscribers, which leaves us with 870 to go to reach that 2,000 subscriber goal. As well as our average views per video from last week is 69 views. Nice, but not nice enough. All right, so that's it. Right now we are at 1,130 subscribers out of 2,000, and our average views are 69 out of 1,000. And the channel's monthly income currently sits at $16.50 out of 100. So we've got a long way to go, but I truly believe we can get there by the end of the year. So until next time, everybody, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the video, consider becoming a Patreon or a channel member, maybe even going over to eBay and Mercari and taking a look at my minis that I have up for sale. And let me know if you found those by this channel so that I can add that to the channel's monthly income. But until next time, everyone, I'm Mr. Sean, this is Mr. Sean Productions, and I sincerely hope that you alpha great day and an even beta tomorrow. Bye-bye.